Welcome to Max Louie's TV with me, Drew Glick. Come on in. When we opened the doors of Max Louie's New York Diner, people kept referring to us as a deli. We've since given up on making the distinction between a diner and a deli, because as a wise man once said, as long as they keep coming back, they can call it whatever they want. To my wife Wendy and me, Max Louie's is as close to an East Coast diner as we could create here in our adopted hometown. It checks all the boxes of what we miss about New York diners. The huge menu, the huge portions of straightforward comfort food, cooked to order, delivered fast to the table by friendly servers. But it is a deli too. After all, we slice our own meats, serve overstuffed two-fisted sandwiches with a pickle on the side, sell lots of deli platters for parties and events, and have a pretty long list of traditional deli items on the menu, including things like chopped liver, tuna salad, lox, knishes, blintzes, babka, and more. All available for dine-in or takeout. So you're right either way, whether you call Max Louie's a diner or a deli, and if you're searching for the differences between the two, here's some interesting background info. Diners are as American as apple pie. The first diner concept is credited to Walter Scott and his horse-drawn lunch wagon in Providence, Rhode Island in 1872. He sold lunch to the overnight shift workers because all of the other restaurants were closed. He did a booming business, all from the windows of the wagon and without any seats. Honestly, it's really more like the first food truck, but we're not here to rewrite history. Night lunch wagons became so popular in the Northeast that prefab one-room buildings popped up everywhere workers needed them. The early 1900s was the golden age of the seated diner, and when they began to look like Art Deco railroad dining cars. The prefab buildings were shipped around the country by rail. So the manufacturers just designed them to look like a dining car. Now that they had a little kitchen, the menus grew to include all-American fare like meatloaf, and burgers, and sandwiches, eggs, pancakes, and lots of coffee. Also in the early 1900s, a huge influx of Greek citizens emigrated to the United States. Cafes were part of their culture at home. So owning and running a diner in America was a perfect fit. Since the 1940s, most diners, yes, most diners in New York have been owned by people of Greek descent. Now you know why you'll almost always find a Greek salad on a diner menu, including ours. Immigrants also played a role in delis. As German Jewish immigrants arrived in New York in the late 1800s, they opened kosher delicatessens, selling fresh sliced kosher meats, grocery items, and made-to-order sandwiches that could be eaten at small tables or wrapped to go. Not long after Jewish delis opened around the city, Jewish appetizing shops began to spring up, exclusively selling foods made with dairy, smoked fish, and eggs, and not meat. In the 1930s, there were 500 independently owned appetizing shops in New York City. Now, there's just a handful. And the number of independent retail Jewish delis in New York City declined too, from a high of about 1,500 in the 1930s to only 15 in 2015. Oy, enough history. Let's talk about what it all means to you. At Max Louie's, you can get appetizing, you can get deli, you can get all-American diner food, you can get breakfast all day, and we don't care what you call us. Just come in and enjoy our menu and our generous portions. Let our staff take good care of you. Have a great cup of coffee, and you know that everything you order here is part of a long history of delicious dining. Whew! Everything we serve here at Max Louie's New York Diner has a backstory, a history, a real place in our heart. So I hope you will come by soon and try something new, maybe something nostalgic or something steeped in tradition. And while you're here, ask for me and let me know what you thought of this episode of Max Louie's TV. Thanks for watching MLTV. Tell your friends about our show, and I will see you again real soon.